Vitale here with Vitale Wealth Management with this week's graded investment market update. All information is gathered as of the week, June 8th, 2026. Hope you're enjoying the nice warm weather. Let's talk about the week in review. Major U.S. indexes ended a 9-week winning streak as Friday's sell-off in many semiconductor-related stocks weighed on the broader market sentiment. The NASDAQ led the declines, going down 4.65%. S&P dropped 2.55%. The Dow held up better, slipping only 0.21%, but small cap stocks also declined, with the Russell 2000 down 2.91%. We knew it was going to happen. We're not going to go up all the time, but we're still positive, very positive for the year. In the fixed income markets, Treasury yields moved higher following a better than expected jobs report. The 2-year U.S. Treasury yield closed at 4.16% on Friday, well above the previous week's closing at 4%. Cryptocurrencies also struggled as Bitcoin fell for the 4th week in a row, falling to its lowest level since September 2024. We're down around the $60,000 mark right now for Bitcoin. Let's talk about upcoming economic releases. The key economic data this week include readings on inflation and consumer sentiment. Tomorrow, we're going to see on June 10th, the consumer CPI, the Consumer Price Index, will offer insights into the inflation on a consumer level. Then on Thursday, Producer Price Index will offer insights into inflation from a wholesale perspective. Friday, the 12th, we're going to see a preliminary reading of the Consumer Sentiment Index, which will show how U.S. consumers are currently feeling about the economy. We had a super strong job report this past week, which really was, about 50,000 jobs more than they anticipated. They were looking for 100,000. They got added 172,000 more jobs, and the unemployment rate remained steady at 4.3%, exceeding expectations, far exceeding. In addition, job growth estimates for the prior 3 months were revised higher as well. Investors' attention now turns to inflation, both on the CPI and the PPI, scheduled for this week, which will give us a little bit more insight, and we'll see how that goes. The reports will provide insight into whether recent inflationary pressures, partly driven by higher energy prices amid ongoing Middle East tensions, persisted in June. Now in April, annual inflation rose 3.8%, its highest level since May 2023. Investors will also be watching the anticipated SpaceX IPO this Friday, with retail investor interest far outpacing usual excitement for the IPO. SpaceX is expected to raise over $75 billion by selling 555 million shares, with an expected market cap of 1.7 trillion, make it the largest IPO in history. Recent activity in the gradient index, there was trading in the buffered outcomes portfolio and in the small and mid cap portfolio last week, which is the following. We bought a bunch of different symbols in the buffered index, which I can tell you all the symbols, but you'd have to look them all up. And then of course traded out. So as you know, every quarter, rebalancing. We try to keep everything in order, make sure that some are better than others as we rebalance, to make sure that we adhere to the philosophies in that. Talk about some stocks in the news. United Healthcare Group, which is owned in the G50, the G33, the Core Select, and the Contrarian Choice. Shares were up 5.6% last week after the company announced a higher quarterly dividend. Sentiment was further boosted as several Wall Street analysts raised their price targets, citing improved fundamentals. How about Medtronic, MDT? It's owned in the G50 and the Core Select. It's a medical device company, beat its earnings expectations across all business segments. Shares gained 10.39% for the week, very strong. Our markets are all high right now for the year. Most of our portfolios are very positive this year. We still feel really good about the year. Now a lot of things too, we're starting to see a lot more. Like you see the job numbers far exceeding what it was supposed to be. We're hoping for rate cuts, but with everything looking, I don't think we're going to get a rate cut this time. And really hope we don't get a rate increase. We shouldn't. But they should have really paused rates last week or last year, dropped them, which they didn't. It's going to make it hard for them to rate cut. I still think we might get a rate cut or two this year. Hopefully it's going to happen. But the good news is once all this nonsense in Iran gets over, we're going to see the energy prices come down quite a bit. The market, the reason the market sold off a little bit of Friday, they were happy about the unemployment numbers, but they weren't happy because that means we're not getting a rate cut. So it's a little crazy how they figure things out. But anyways, that's it for the week. Give us a call. You know how to get us. Thank you so much for being part of the Vitale Wealth family. If you want to get a hold of us, it's 855-756-5700. Visit us at vitalewealth.com. God bless you. We'll see you again.